heart-wrenching story again. Bruce is a close personal friend of mine, and in our world, what I get to do is I get to be around those stories all the time. But each time I hear somebody else who encounters one of these stories and the humanity behind it, and it touches somebody, that person, Bruce becomes a minister. Bruce becomes he becomes an advocate for a community that he was thrust into. That community is, I usually don't use notes, but there are some things that I want to forget. That there are 44% of people experiencing homelessness in the United States are in shelter. Brian just got done telling you about this new ordinance, and I think it needs to be said that the work that we do within the homeless community, the things that we do within the shelter and within the churches, are not in opposition to the work that Brian does. There is not an us against them as far as our team is concerned. We are looking for safety and health and wellness and love and compassion and concern and seeing the humanity that's within each person being created in God's image and likeness. And that's what we're endeavoring to do. That's what the police are endeavoring to do. And I have to give props to the police force for reaching out. And I got to watch them tear up at the things that they were doing. So this is not an us against them. This is not Occupy Pottstown. This is a rethinking, genuinely, of what makes up the homeless community. And you're going to hear some stories from folks that were in the shelter, folks that are in the shelter, and some more heart-wrenching stories. But I don't want you to just look at them like somehow there can be a severe disinterest, or I hear it and not attach that to a human soul. That's not what we're looking for. What we're looking for is a genuine conversation reset. We're trying to restart the conversation of what homelessness is in Pottstown. When the shelter closes, the first day of May, it will still be illegal to camp. And when you have no resources, when you're one of these 44%, what do you do? Where do you go? There are those around us, and we hear comments often that there's the undeserving, and we need to move them on. But there's a cost to that. There's a cost to not caring. It's estimated that each homeless person that is cared for a year is going to cost $40,000 of your tax dollars. There's a monetary incentive here to doing the right thing. And only last night, one of our volunteers that came in to cook. I got to tell him a little bit of some of the stories that are in the shelter, and what they comprise is a group of people that are going to get swept up into a conversation. They're going to get swept up into a system. And that system is going to be their teacher. They're going to learn either how to be homeless, they're going to join the ranks of people that have a new vocabulary, a vocabulary of bench warrants and of difficulty and hiding out and knowing that they're unloved. And that vocabulary gets very real.
Okay.
And what we're asking, come May 1st, is we're asking that we would invest in a different way. Rather than investing in uncaring, if what we could do is find the compassion in our hearts to allow the church to rise up and be the church, to allow people of goodwill and all the Abrahamic faiths that are represented in Pottstown to work together with law enforcement and everyone else, what we can actually become is the compassionate city on a hill.
Yes.
We could be a light from this place, and I was nervous if we're going to get anyone here today. I'm glad for the turnout, but next year, this is the beginning. This isn't the end of something. This isn't the end of National Homeless Awareness Month, which is what we're creating. This is the starting line, where we need a permanent homeless shelter here in town.
Amen.
We do a lot of talking in the shelter about what it takes to be what we refer to as the new lepers. In the first century, sorry, I'm a pastor. Lord help me. In the first century, lepers were not considered people with skin disease. It began that way, and it was done for safety reasons, but it became a badge of dishonor. And eventually those words turned into anybody who doesn't contribute to the society in a positive way. Does that sound familiar to you?
Mm-hmm.
All of my homeless friends have heard that. Ed told me a story last night that broke my heart. The way he's perceived. Modern-day lepers are people that are forced to live apart, run out of town, kept on the margins. And I don't want Pottstown to be known as that. I want them to have a new teacher, not the system. I want their teacher to be people of goodwill who love them and will invest in a very, very different way. That will make a way for people rather than make a hurdle for them. That's what we're doing here. That's what TCN has been trying to do. We're looking for a building. We need finances. We need help, and we need you to rise up and be the people of Pottstown that really are going to carry this banner. We've been handed a mantle. And we can look the other way, and that's truly an investment. Or we can embrace it, and we can love them. And I think those dividends are going to be far higher, far better for who we need to become. All of us, not just the homeless town. Thanks.
Thanks, Cork. For those that came late, we do have some flyers over to the left. If you're interested